episode 45.
Squirrel.
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 Hello and welcome to the Pink Eagle podcast. My name is Sally Jane and today I am joined by Caleb. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
I'm honored to be here.
Are you honored to be here? Oh, you sweet boy. We today Rachel is at my mom, at Granny, doing schoolwork. Once a week my mom takes one of the kids and then does kind of a special time with them. And then they do schoolwork and they do games and they do all sorts of things, don't they?
I'm the Ludo champion.
You're the Ludo champion. And today's Rachel's turn. Yesterday was your turn, wasn't it? Yeah. So did you beat Granny at Ludo a lot?
One time Granny beat me twice at Snakes and Ladders.
Granny beat you twice at Snakes and Ladders? Oh dear. And how many times did you beat her?
Once.
Once, I see. But didn't you beat her 7 times last week at Ludo or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, in all the times.
In all the times. Oh, I see. And Titus is at school, at playgroup again. The holidays are over and so Titus is back at playgroup, which he loves. And he's going every morning of the week. So in the car on the way home, Caleb said to me, could we podcast? He wanted to be the co-host. And I wasn't planning to do a podcast and I kind of thought of 1,000 reasons why we shouldn't and I wasn't ready and all the rest. And I thought, he doesn't really get to do this very often with me and I quite enjoy having you as my co-host. So I would have Caleb join me. So I said to him in the car, he must think of an interesting topic or think of something interesting to say on the podcast and then we could include that. So he says squirrels. So this podcast is called Squirrels. We didn't actually look up anything extra about squirrels, but it got me thinking that knitters are a bit like squirrels because there's a saying that's called to squirrel away because the squirrels all summer go and find nuts and seeds and things and then they squirrel it away in their den or burrow. What's a squirrel nest? What's a squirrel thing called? A den. Isn't it in a tree? What's it called? A nest or a anyway, so they keep it in their squirrel house and then they have it in the winter to eat. And I guess that's maybe a little bit like knitters. We squirrel away yarn. We store yarn. Supposedly for the winter, but I think we just store it anyway. For our stash, hey?
And knitting.
And knitting, yeah. So, well, they do preparations for the winter and we do preparations for the winter with our knitting. So, and then the next thing it reminded me of the word squirrel was that apparently the word squirrel is one of the most difficult words for non-English speaking people to say. It's apparently a really difficult word in English to say if you're not English first language speakers. So I thought it might be fun if some people were up to it from different places in the world and even different English accents to say a little clip, just a short video clip saying the word squirrel and send it to us and we will edit it into the next podcast or whenever we've got a couple of words, a couple of squirrels. Squirrel. It also made me think, Disa in Sweden and there's also Frida in Sweden that could say squirrel. And I'm going to forget all the different people that there are around in different places. But if you are in France or if you are in Italy or Spain or if English is not your first language and you've got the ability to record, it doesn't always have to be a video clip. It can just be a sound clip as well. And if you'd like to email that to me, I'll put my email address at the bottom here and also in the show notes. Please email us a link of saying squirrel. Oh, and also what squirrel is in your own language. So whatever squirrel is in German or Swedish or Italian or whatever. And then we'll try and say those. We could try and say squirrel in other languages then. I was trying to think what a squirrel was in Afrikaans, and I can't actually think.
Me neither.
I think it's an akker. An akker is an acorn. Oh, I mean, like what just brings to mind is akker hasi, but a hasi is a rabbit, and I'm sure it's not an acorn rabbit. I wonder what it is. Shall we ask Papa what a squirrel is? And now you can do your. And a few moments later. Caleb's been dying to edit the podcast and include, because apparently Squid does this thing where he says 2 minutes later or whatever. So Caleb is dying to do something where we edit it in saying 2 minutes later.
And then we move on to the stash.
Then we'll have to move on to stash. Okay?
As and finished object.
And finished objects, yes. Hi. What is a squirrel in Afrikaans? An eekhoorn. Am I saying that right? What does an eek mean? And a hoorn is a horn. An eekhoorn. So I'm not saying the second word right. Say it slowly for me. Eekhoorn. I don't feel like I'm saying that part right. I'll have to record eekhoorn. Eekhoorn. I'm gonna have to record you say that. You're live on the podcast, by the way. Well, I'm on the phone too. Oh, I can put you on speaker. Hold on. Okay, right. Now you have to say eekhoorn or whatever it is quite loud.
Eekhoorn.
Okay. I don't know. We'll have to see if we picked it up. Otherwise, I'll have to do a sound clip of you. I'll have to put you in. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. So it's an eekhoorn, and I'm not saying that right. The English people struggle in Afrikaans to do the H and the R sound properly. So I'm going her. I can hear it's not right. Hoorn, and it's not. Hoorn. I can't do it. Anyway, all the Afrikaans people are killing themselves laughing at me. So I don't know. So yes, that's what it is in Afrikaans. Just don't kick the chair. Yeah, my love. I'll kick the camera. So that's what a squirrel is in Afrikaans. So I don't know if you heard the geek because of the. I'll just have to check if the sound clip came through. Anyway, yes. So send me what a squirrel is. It also made me think in the car that we recently watched the movie Up again. The one with the balloons and the man, and it's really quite a sweet movie. And the dogs. So whenever it's like to distract the dogs, so they just go squirrel, and all the dogs go like this, and it just made me think the kids are a bit like that, easily distracted and easily but maybe it's like niches with yarn, let's go, So yes, this episode Caleb decided was called Squirrel. So tell us how you say squirrel. Try and say squirrel if you got. Even if you do say it in English, maybe you say it slightly different to us. Is there an American way to say squirrel that's different to our way? I don't know. So yeah, that's what our episode is called. And let's move on with the knitting. What are you knitting?
I'm knitting my log cabin blanket, and this is my second square.
Have you finished that row yet? Finish your row and then I'll show it. Oh, there we go. Right. So you're knitting a log cabin like me, hey? There we go. That seems to be showing up quite well. Good. That's very nice. And what else are you knitting at the moment? Is that all you're knitting at the moment?
No. Just got something in here.
Have you got any finished objects?
This is nearly finished. I just need the mossy stitch.
The mossy stitch. Oh, you're doing a washcloth. Oh, you've got a stitch marker falling out here. Put that back in there. Oh, this is in the middle of the row. The log cabin squares that we're doing are various brands of, you can't kick that, can't put your foot anywhere near that table, of various brands of DK, whatever I found as we went along. So there is, I mean, some of it is L pure new wool that I found. Some of it is African expressions. Some of it is bits and pieces that I had in stash left over. So there isn't really a brand of that. This is yarn that you got, I think, in your Christmas bag, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember right, this is Colors of Grace. The tag, I think, is in my book of little yarn tags. So you got this one, the Colors of Grace, and I'm not sure of the colorway. And you want to do some moss stitch again on the bottom. And are you making this one for you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you? Okay. Please don't kick that. Tell you what, put your legs underneath you on the couch here, and then you're not tempted at all to kick the camera. And then you're knitting one more thing, but you left it at Granny's house.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you knitting?
I was knitting a mug hug.
Another mug.
And I've got one mug hug. The mug hug up there.
On Mommy's mug here.
Yeah.
Caleb made that one. Someone asked me how we did this. And there is a really cute book called Mug Hugs, which I thought was out, but I don't see it. I'll have to have a look. There's a really, really cute book called Mug Hugs. And, you know, I've used quite a few of those patterns before, but this was literally Rachel just cast on some stitches for him, and he knitted until it fitted around the mug, and he cast off, and they closed it and put a button on. So that was, you know, that's the easiest way to do it. If you don't, you know, if you use a chunkish yarn and you just literally garter stitch in a long piece, make sure it fits around. You need to make it slightly shorter than the mug because it needs to have a bit of ease so it actually, you know, grips onto the mug. And then you can put a button. You can sew both ends closed and put a decorative button, because normally with the garter stitch it stretches enough that it goes over the mug. Otherwise you can do a loop, a button loop, and actually make it fasten if you've got a thinner yarn or a stitch that without as much give, you know, if you don't do garter stitch. Won't you see if the mug hug book is over there? It might actually be in the cupboard, my boy, I'm not sure. Rachel had it out the other day. So he's knitting another little mug cozy for me, but that is at he left it at my mom's house yesterday after he went for his granny day. At the bottom where the books are, sweetie, right on the very bottom of the cupboard where all the books and stuff are in the corner. So there.
I can find your book.
Yeah, that's not the one we want though. Never mind. We'll show it next time. So here we go. I finished that row for you. Here's your washcloth. So this is Colors of Grace cotton in a blue color. Don't know what it was called. That's your little bit left. There you are. So you're going to go on to moss stitch now. Knit one, purl one. Off you go.
So should I start? How do you do purl again?
Okay, well, knit your first stitch.
So I do knit first stitch, then purl next.
I see you wrap your yarn around your hand too. I noticed that Dan and Kay on the Bakery Bears podcast wrap the yarn around. I wrap mine around my fingers. You know, mine just goes through my fingers. But I see you like to actually wrap it around your hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier for me.
Okay, now bring your yarn to the front.
Yeah.
And then knit up the stitch. That's it. There you go. Right.
Now I knit it.
And then pull that. There we go. That's just right.
And then I knit two.
No, then you go back, put the yarn back to the back again, and then do another knit one. So you do knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one the whole time. It's a bit slower, but now you bring the yarn forward again. There you go. So that's what Caleb is working on. Let's see what I am working on. Should we do some finished objects? I actually do have some. Well, it was on Saturday was the 18th of July, which was Nelson Mandela Day, and people are encouraged to do 67 minutes of volunteering or helping or doing something in the community or whatever. So Rachel had tick bite fever, as some of you will know. She got it very mildly, and I'm sure she will tell you in great detail when she podcasts with me next week all about it. So I won't spoil her glory. But yeah, so I didn't go out on the weekend. I just stayed at home. But I decided that I would knit washcloths for her Burns Unit charity. You know, we collect stuff the whole year long. And so I got some yarn. This is Vinnie's. I'm going to stop and get a few things, and then I'm going to have the right. Hold on. Right. So as I was saying, it was Mandela Day, the 67 minutes of what do you call it? Giving, like where you do something for other people. So I didn't go out, but I did something for the Burns Unit charity, the one that Rachel and I. Oh goodness me! Which is in Vinnie's colors, in her cotton, and it's in the aubergine mix colorway. So it's a sort of a variegated. I did 2 just with moss stitch borders, like that, and I did 1 which is in the grandma's favorite washcloth pattern. I think you've knitted this one before, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Where you cast on the bottom and you do yarn overs up the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've done this one before. So it was the grandma's favorite washcloth and 2 of these.
Should I go find it?
No, it's fine. You've shown it before. So though some people have asked, does the Burns Unit charity carry on all year? Yes, it does. I will do another knit along next year in a sort of a drive to get stuff for the winter again to go and donate. But if you want to send things anytime throughout the year or knit hats or washcloths, please feel free to do it. Don't make funny faces at the TV, please. 8-year-old boys. There's only so much attention span. So yes, it does carry on all year. And the pattern, the Phoenix pattern should be ready quite soon. And Claire Devine, very, very kindly, the tech editor, donated all of her time and didn't charge anything for the tech editing. So I'm hoping that we can put the pattern up with all the proceeds going to help buy the supplies for the toiletries. Isn't that kind? That's a goofy grin. So that's what I did on the weekend. And as I said, that was out of Vinnie's cotton. What else did I do? I finished my white sandy beach socker. I've done 1 socker so far. I really like this pattern. It was a toe up pattern. This is the L sock wool 8020 that I dyed in an orange sort of colors. She has a sort of a modified short row heel in which she adds a bit of it. It's called a deep pocket heel, which I really like because I've of course got. And so it's got this really nice cable. I really like that the cable is subtle. You know, often cables have garter stitch before to make them stand out, and that's cool. But for this pattern, I really like that cable is very subtle, and the cable and the sock are all in stocking stitch, so it kind of just blends from one to the other. And I have knit 1 of these, but I do have a pair of socks. Ta-da! Can I wear them together? Can I go out like this? My cool socks. Do you think so? Hello? No?
Yes.
Can I? Okay, Caleb says it's a pair of socks. There you go. Anyway, so why did I go for these and not cast on the second one of these and go to these rather? Because this is the July socks. As those of you that watched for a while will know, that Sally Wool Diaries and I are doing a year of socks. So each of us is responsible for getting the yarn for 6 months of the year. So we alternate months and on a theme, and then we get the yarn for each other and we knit socks throughout the year. So I didn't want to not have finished these in time, because although this is a knit along on Lucia's group, she's Pearl of the Pacific, and I'm not sure her group is not called Pearl of the Pacific. Just the dog is too quiet. I'm not sure what her group is. I always forget. She's doing a sock knit along for the launch of the pattern, the white sandy beaches. You didn't have to knit the white sandy beaches. You could knit, you know, any socks. I can include my June and July socks in that. And I would like to finish this by the end of the month. But I don't want to not have finished. Sally and I, my July socks, because I don't want to fall behind already. You know, like it's important to keep up with finishing the July socks in July. So these ones, it was for me of greater imperative or importance to finish these ones while it was July. If I missed the knit along for these, well, then that's just the way it is. So this was the July yarn that I dyed in, or same base, same L sock base when the kids and I played around with dyeing. You dyed some yarn, didn't you? We should get your. Were you burping in the podcast?
No, I was yawning.
Burping and farting is very much part of being an 8-year-old boy, isn't it? Yes. So I dyed this in the frozen colorway for the winter theme, because it's winter in South Africa at the moment. And I remembered to cast on cuff down, because I don't normally do cuff down, I normally do cuff down socks, twisted ribbing to start with, and then I copied Sally in the June socks, did the Jack pattern, which is just a simple slip stitch pattern, which I really liked. So I did that. And this, I was going to do an opposite heel. And you will say, but that's not an opposite heel, Sally Jane. That is the same heel you always do, because that's the fish lips kiss heel. Indeed. Is this the first time I knit the heel?
No, the third.
Is it the second time I knit this heel?
No.
This is the third time I knit a heel for this pair of socks. Because what I decided to do, because I was trying to be opposite, was that I would do a heel flap and gusset. So I followed the pattern for the Viney's Everyday sock and did the modified Eye of Partridge heel, which I've done before and I quite like. And it totally messed up the front pattern here, and it was too tight. So I thought I'm going to take it back to the heel flap part, and I'm going to lengthen the heel flap because that will make a wider gusset, better for high instep, blah, blah, blah. So instead of having 32 rows, so the normal Hermione heel flap is 32 rows and you pick up 16 stitches. I did 40 rows, picked up 20 stitches plus the stitches in between, did the heel flap. It fit a lot better, but I couldn't stand what it did across the front of my sock. It basically made the slip stitches, you can see they change color. It made an entire long white stripe across the top of my foot. I took some pictures, I'll insert the pictures. And it just did funny stuff with the color. The colors pooled in some places, all the dark was on one side, all the light was on the other side. I just didn't like it. And the fit wasn't perfect because I actually should have increased across the top of the foot. So I ripped it out and I went back and I then increased, before doing the heel, the fish lips kiss heel, to 72 stitches, did the heel, and then slowly increased afterwards, because the problem is that I'm very high here. So this is very tight on my socks. And so I did a much slower decrease, and eventually about here, I'm back to 64 stitches. Because this part of my foot is narrow and this part of my leg is narrow. And because I've got a very high instep here, this is very high here. This part of my foot is very up. So that makes the whole instep much higher, and it pulls tight across here. So this is on 72 stitches, which is better. It's not perfect, it's better. What I actually think I need to do is 40 stitches across the front here and keep the 36 across the back for the heel, because it's actually fine. That fits fine on the heel, if you were doing like 72 stitches, and then do 40 across the front, just for a couple of extra stitches over this bit, because this is where it pulls tight on all my socks, over the top of my foot here. And I really like the way that heel looks. I like that it doesn't, by the time you're back in the round, you haven't interrupted your stripe, your sock pattern at all, and then it goes, like that. I think I'm a bit OCD with my sock knitting, which I didn't think I was. My socks have to be half. Like if you fold them in half, the toe and the cuff must match. They must meet. It must be like exactly in half, because when you fold it in your drawer, it fits nicely if it's half. And I don't like if it changed the pattern for only a short bit. I don't mind pooling and flashing if it pulls and flashes through the whole sock and it looks uniformly pooled and flashed. But to be one small bit across here that suddenly looked different, I didn't like that. So I think I'm a bit OCD with my socks. I also cuff down. Think that although I did a German twisted cast on, which is stretchy, it's not as stretchy as doing a stretchy bind off. And I hate Kitchener stitch. There we go. I said it. I hate it. I don't like it. I can never find darning needles. I know you have to darn in the ends of the socks eventually, but then you can have a pair of socks and you can find the darning needles and just darn it and it's finished. But to find like halfway through to finish and to get the thing off your needles, to have to go and find darning needles. And I always find that once you finish that last stitch on your Kitchener stitch, unless I'm doing it wrong, it kind of pokes out. I can't get mine to kind of, when you cast on, it just lies flat. Or, it's just in normal. I just don't like the way it pulls out slightly or points out slightly when you finish Kitchener. I don't know, if you darn it in, you can kind of pull it back in a bit. I just don't like Kitchener stitch. That's it. So much easier if you're casting on. I do is it called the Turkish cast on? Wrap the yarn around the needles, knit through the one side, knit through the other side. Dead easy. Looks smooth, perfect. You don't have to try to pull the stitches tighter as you're going afterwards. La la la. Don't like Kitchener stitch. Sorry. That is the main reason I don't do cuff down. Or because Kitchener stitch. And because you can't measure exactly half and cast off. You have to measure and guess how many rows your toe is going to be, and then hope that your toe is going to be the enough rows so that when you fold your sock, it will be perfectly in half. And I think I got it right, but it's not as much as if you do it when you're knitting and you fold your sock in half and you just need to cast off. I think I was pretty close there, actually. Oh, you see the toe's a bit longer. Look there. Toe sticks out slightly over the rib, and now it's not exactly in half. It's not right. So anyway, there we go. There's my sock. Number 1 done. And I have already cast on number 2. And the hope is that I will be able to finish this one and the other one of this one by the end of July. That is the hope. Because then that would be cool. Then I can enter all the knit-alongs and all the giveaways and all the everythings. But I have done one for my knit-along, even though I cannot enter it for prizes. I have done an opposite. I did cuff down. And I don't like it. That is the nice thing. I think that's the best thing about socks, is that you can knit it so many different ways. You can knit it toe up, you can knit it cuff down, you can knit it 2 at a time, you can knit it 1 at a time, you can knit it on deeper ends, you can knit it on circulars, you can knit it on 2 circulars, magic loop. There are so many different options to suit everybody's taste. And as much as I'm saying I hate the one way, somebody else is going to be saying, no, I love doing it that way. It's so much easier than doing the toe up cast on or whatever it is. You just cast on and then go on the cuff down. So yeah, I think that's what's really so nice about socks, that there are so many different ways to do it. So that is my pair of socks, which apparently I can't wear together. But hopefully by next week, I might have 2 pairs of socks to show you if I finish. Well, actually, I'm probably going to record during the week with Rachel. So I doubt that I'm going to have gotten both socks done by then. But I might have a pair. I might have finished the blue ones by then. And hopefully by the next one, by the end of the month, I will have both pairs of socks finished. So that is mostly what I've been knitting on to finish those socks. I did a little bit on a log cabin square. I often do the log cabin squares, funny enough, while I'm editing the podcast, because while I'm waiting for things to load, it's just sort of mindless knitting. I don't have to think much about it. And that's the time I normally do. So I've got a little bit of a log cabin square. And I've got some more yarn that that's not very exciting, but I've done that. What is exciting about my one log cabin square is that it has made me very excited about a color combination. Where is that square now? It's this one there. Oh, come on, for goodness sake. There's not that many of them. These are all my squares as I go. I've showed you all of these before. I had some more subdued one. There's still no end sewn in. Where's that one I want to show you? Here we go. I think I've shown you this one before. But look there. I don't even know if it's going to come up nicely. This is a corally pink color, and this is a kind of a light lime green. And that color combination is my new obsession. I brought both boards here somewhere. Here's the green. What did I do with the peach? It was here too. Did I see a dog run off with my yarn? She's very upset if I did. Oh no, here it is. Look there. Now I don't have enough of either of these for a garment, but this is so washed out. This is like a really pinky peach color. Woo, bless you. I might have to take a photo of it. The sun is shining directly through that window, and it's making it very, very bright. Actually, maybe there's better. It's a kind of a pinky. This side's got less light. It's kind of a pinky peach and a green, and it's just horribly washed out. Nah, it doesn't look nice at all. I want a striped cardigan in these two colors. Unfortunately, this is what I dyed over some, goodness me, do you need tissue? Get tissue quickly. This is what I dyed over that yellow in the green. And this is something I got from a closing down sale. I got 2 balls of it. So neither are enough for and not even the same weight. I held this double, I think. Not enough for a sweater. So I'm going to be on the lookout for a sweater of lime green, but it's a specific corally color. A bit similar to the one I'm wearing here, this sort of pinky, although this one's a little bit darker, isn't it? I really like this pinky coral color. That's my new obsession, to find those two to make a garment out of. So those are log cabin squares, and that's all that I have been knitting. Talking about the opposites knit along. Sorry, I did record this segment earlier after we stopped and then came back, and then the camera didn't actually record that. And in that one, I was more organized and did it in order. But talking about the opposites knit along, by the time I've got this up, there should be enough time for people still to enter if they want to. You could enter both the Yonder Woman and my group for prizes. You just have to put your entries there. And remember, you can have extra entries for, so like you can enter if it's opposite yarn from where you live, or it's an opposite pattern from where you live, or it's an opposite direction like I did, cuff down instead of toe up, that sort of thing. So you get entries for all of those things on her group. Read her rules, read my rules, but you can enter into both groups because we have our seasons opposite. Melinda is in Australia, I'm in South Africa, and of course we have our seasons opposite to most of you who are having summer at the moment. So the prizes for my side is the Stella Fiberworks yarn from Gina at Natural Yarns. She runs a yarn company here in South Africa that supplies natural yarns from quite a few of the dyers in South Africa. And oops, let's just move that for you. Sit back nicely now. There we go. And she started dyeing yarn herself. She also dyes fiber, which I have bought some for your sister for her birthday, which she doesn't know about. It's hiding in the cupboard.
And I'm also going to bring up in her back some hand spun from
also some yarn for
England.
you. Oh, I did order some for Christmas for her that you're going to bring back. I've told Caleb he is not allowed to. My dad and they've booked their visas. Well, they've put in their passports for their visas. They've got their tickets booked, and they are going at the end of October, 20th of October, until the beginning of November. And I've told Caleb he may have the clothes he's wearing on his back, and he may have one other item of set of change of clothing. Is that enough, Caleb? No. Why can you only have so little clothes?
Because Mom wants me to bring back loads of stuff.
Yes. And my sister said this morning on WhatsApp that 4 parcels had arrived. There is, for somebody for Christmas, there is something that might go on somebody's bed. That may or may not be about Star Wars. We can't get Star Wars bed in here. So I needed Caleb to help me choose the design he really liked. And then he has to forget about it because it's only for Christmas, hey?
I can't forget.
Well, you'll have to because you're only getting it at Christmas. So there's that. And there's more pink hair dye for me because I get my hair dye from England. And talking about hair, I don't know. I've made the top brown and I've made the bottom pink so that it's less hassle of trying to dye the top, keep it from growing out. But I was wondering if I should do, I don't know if it looks too much like a line, like this is brown and this is pink. Although Corin did help me to bring some of the pink up here. We did do some pink stripes here. I did wonder if I should do highlights. Go to the hairdresser and just ask them to do the blonde highlights and come home and make it so the pink goes a little bit, the brighter pink goes a little bit higher here. What do you think? Did it? What do you think? Do you like your mum having pink hair or brown hair?
Both.
Both. Okay. He's not much help, is he? So I've bought hair dye.
Brown.
I've bought some bedding for Caleb. I've bought some spinning yarn from now I want to say Bakewell. I know that you get a Bakewell tart in England. Is it Bakewell yarns or I don't know. I'll include the thingy. I bought some fiber for Rachel. I've ordered some things from Fondant Fiber for Sally and for me. I have, I think that's all I've ordered so far. She said 4 parcels arrived today. What else arrived? Hair dye. No. Hair dye. I don't know. Anyway, so I bought some things. So Caleb's not allowed to take any clothes to England because I am doing shopping. And he's not going to take that much. It's only 2 weeks. And so I will pack an extra bag for him to bring back. His bag going there will be smaller. And then when he comes back, he can have the slightly bigger. I'll put the smaller suitcase with his stuff inside the bigger one, and then he can, Anyway, we'll figure it out. So poor old Caleb's not going to be allowed much luggage space. But I have to send over presents for my sister and the nieces and nephew.
And I have to bring back presents.
And you'll have to bring back Christmas presents from my sister. So, there's a bit of toing and froing happening. Oh, and I'm sending my sister all the kind of things. You can get them in the South African shops. I know that, but it's very expensive. I'm sending her all the little South African treats like chomps and knickknacks and bar ones and rusks and fizzes and jelly babies that you get here, which are not like the soft Bassett's jelly babies that you get there. And what else did she want? I was thinking of biltong. Biltong's really dodgy. I don't want Caleb, my dad, to get stuck with. You can, vacuum sealed biltong. You can get biltong in England. It doesn't taste quite the same. And sending vacuum sealed biltong, I know some people get away with it. And if I was going, I might take the chance. But I don't want to send my dad and Caleb with vacuum sealed biltong and then some sniffer dog. They have sniffer dogs that sniff the South African flights for biltong. Like they sniff other flights for drugs. They sniff the South African baggage for biltong. Biltong is a bit like jerky in America. It's dried meat. But essentially it's raw. And you're not allowed to take raw meat into another country. So, I don't think I'm going to risk that one. But anyway, I'm going to put like a little care package together of all these sort of treats that she can't get. Oh, zoo biscuits. Zoo biscuits. I'm going to send her those as well. So I'm going to send some things like that back with her. So poor old Caleb is going to have such a suitcase full of presents going there and then presents coming back that he can have a pair of underpants and one change of clothes. Is that okay? Say no, Mom.
Anyway,
Shame.
can I talk?
Do you want to talk? Oh, but I was telling you about the prizes. How did I get onto that? I was talking about Gina. Oh, that I bought fiber for Rachel's birthday, and then you said there was more fiber in England. Yes. So we quickly finish the prizes, then I'll give you a chance to talk. Yeah. So Gina from Stella Fiberworks is sending a prize for the knit along, but she's still got that. So I'll insert a picture like I've done before. I don't know if she's got more yarn up in her shop. Most of it was bought from last time. She's doing some beautiful self stripes and on her sock yarn, and she's dyeing fiber as well. So have a look at Natural Yarns. I'm not sure if she's got some new things up there yet, but when she does, you need to buy them because they go quite fast. The other yarn prize we got is from Yarn Stash Pietermaritzburg, which is Wendy, and she sent this lovely double knit in these blue. I mean, it's really very ocean, green and blue and a darker blue and grey. It's really very, very pretty. And then she sent, that was 100% merino DK. Just check the time for fetching Titus. No, we're okay. And then this one is called What Was I Thinking? I really love it. I've seen it knitted up. Someone on Instagram put it up. When did you know who it was? Someone did a project that I think they said in this What Was I Thinking? This is 60% merino, 40% nylon sock yarn, 100 grams, 310 meters. It is such a cool colorway, and it's going to make such great strong socks, with the higher nylon content. And when these prices at Yarn Stash are very, very reasonable. So go and check her out. And thank you so much for those prizes, Wendy. The other prize is a bag from Sally, Wool Diaries, who does the podcast I talk about so often. And she's back podcasting. She had a little break. The boys were on holiday. Did I say this in the last? I'm not sure which bit cut. I hope I didn't say this in the bit that I didn't cut. But if it's in the bit that didn't record, just to say I'm delighted Sally is back recording because I missed her. And she had a problem with her computer and the boys were on holiday and all the rest. And so she's back and I watched her last night and I'm very excited. She runs a shop called Yarn Bling and she was going to do us an African fabric bag. And then Rachel and I found this hippopotamus, this beaded hippopotamus, which we just think is so cool with this big yellow mouth. And so somebody will get the beaded hippopotamus. And there is a pattern from Claire Devine, who is a South African living in England at the moment. And it will be one of her tea collection hats. So I'm not sure which one yet, but it will be one of her hats. So that's great. There is also Claire's giveaway of her sock anatomy book, although I am not sure by the time I've edited if that might actually be closed. But a lot of you have entered. If you haven't, and I get this up in time, go and enter. I very much doubt I'll get this done in time. It's supposed to be by the weekend. So yes, next time I'll be drawing the prizes. I think really. So often check the group because often giveaways and stuff are on the group, and you'll see what's going at that time. So that was Claire's giveaway for the book that we reviewed of her sock anatomy book. Check out her sock anatomy book. Excellent for constructions, toe up, cuff down, yarn, needles, and there are 9 different heels and toes. So it really does teach you all sorts of different heels and toes. So that's a great book, and it goes 9 sizes from baby all the way through to adult large sizes. And Claire is a very clear in her instructions and in her she teaches knitting as well, so and that comes across in her knitting and her layout. Everything is clear and she words things well and there's good diagrams and everything is really nicely laid out. But you can see that full review in one of our past episodes, and I'll put up the episode number here. I think it was 2 back. I'll insert which number that was. And that is for the Opposites Knit Along. So going into, you've got until the end of the month. And those are the prizes. Okay, I'm finished talking. I need to do some acquisitions, but I will let you talk now, and then I can do acquisitions. What did you want to talk about?
I am playing a little Lego game with Titus, and I've built.
You need to talk a little bit loud into the camera. So
I am playing a little Lego game with Titus, and I've built a little bridge and a little castle and a little living quarters with a bed.
Shall we take a photo of it and then we can include it here? Okay. And we can put the picture in that shows what you did. Okay. So what is it, a castle and a what?
A bridge.
A bridge.
Little oven living quarters.
A living quarters, yeah.
Is where all the beds are. And then I've got a little doggy bathtub.
A doggy bathtub? Oh, cool.
On the top, and a little other bathtub on the bottom.
Okay, and that's for out of Lego that you and Titus are doing. So should we include some pictures of that?
And
we'll take some pictures.
Building a car.
You're building a car? Cool. You and Caleb, Titus like Lego, don't you? Yeah. Let me do my acquisitions quickly while we have enough time. So, my mom wants to knit a hitchhiker for a friend of hers, and she thought she was going to do out of this, which is Debbie Bliss Andes, which is 65% baby alpaca, 25% mulberry silk, 100 meters in 50 grams, and she had two. That's only 200 meters, and it's not really enough. And I actually think that a hitchhiker looks nicer in a variegated yarn. I think it just looks nicer. So she didn't know what to do with this, and she didn't have yarn to knit that from. So she said, would I like to have this? It is like, like the other bulky baby alpaca that I got from Heartland, and I did that lap sung for my sister. It's a bit like that, except this has got mulberry silk, so it's even drapey. It's just like, feel that. Feel how soft that is.
Oh, that is soft.
I mean, normal merino is soft. And merino is quite a soft yarn. I mean, this is not, but this is it's like marshmallows. It's like
a bright marshmallow that
oh.
isn't very, very sticky.
Yeah, it's not. Fortunately, it's not sticky. It's just. Oh, I don't know what this. What must this be? I had thought of a lap sung hat for me because I keep giving away all my lap sung hats. See, look how. But Sally said that it is too soft and luxurious to put on my head. That I should make some sort of a cowl, but it needs to be something drapey, I guess. Look there. Oh my word. Baby alpaca is just, oh. So my mother gave me this, which is really, really nice. And then I needed to find some yarn for her to knit for her friend. And she chose something that I actually really like. But my parents are so incredibly good to us. They look after, take the children once, one day a week, and they help out. And my dad comes around to walk the dogs. And my parents are just like, a lot of my friends say, can they have my parents? Can they borrow? I have really, really nice parents. Like I'm seriously lucky. And to live so close to them and for them to be around the kids and stuff. And so there was some yarn that I actually got in the swap from Angie, who sent me my parcel this time, a few parcels back, which was some purples to knit my jacaranda shawl out of sock weight, because that's a lace weight one. And it was perfect. It was great colors, and it would make a great jacaranda shawl. I just haven't got round to it yet. And my mother really wanted something, and she said, oh, those colors would be perfect for her friend. So I gave it to her. It's called Roving Reporter, and it's really pretty purples. And to be honest, at the moment, I really want to knit some garments, and as much as I would like to have another purple jacaranda scarf, it was just so much nicer to know that my mother really liked that color, and she's knitting it for a friend of hers. So it was like a gift, which became a gift, which is becoming a gift. Isn't it nice? And the people that the person my mom is gifting it to is somebody that has been incredibly kind to them. My parents are quite religious. I'm not, but my parents are. And they have moved to a new church in Cape Town. And this lady's at the church and has been incredibly kind to my parents and looked after my dad while my mother's been in Durban with my sister, and have invited my parents, have just been really, really kind to my parents. And so my mother was making her a hitchhiker after she saw my mom's hitchhiker and commented on how pretty it was. So my mother was making a hitchhiker for her. So I was really pleased to give that yarn to her. And I mean, sure, I would have liked making a jacaranda from it, but to be honest, it wasn't going to happen anytime soon. And I got baby alpaca in the mix. I mean, in the swap, I got baby alpaca. So let's not make too much fuss. Lovely. So that's my one acquisition. My other acquisition, as you remember last time, Rachel spoke about her swap parcel arriving. Well, mine arrived. And oh my goodness, did it make me smile. It was the day after Rachel had tick bite fever and she was feeling miserable. And it was a moustache theme. I got a moustache project bag. It is from, and I always love things with a cause, you know me. It's from the Cotton On, and that supports the Cotton On Foundation. By purchasing this bag, you are supporting the Cotton On Foundation and our projects. And so your purchase builds futures and empowers communities. So isn't that just so cool? So it is a drawstring moustache project bag. That is, and then she put a whole lot of moustache themed things into the swab. Just, I mean, how can you not smile about moustaches? It says never trash the stash, like the moustache, but also like knitting stash. And there's a moustache on that side. This was from Typo. And then I got a little moustache magnet. And I got a thing that says wool, a little button that says Wool Week Cape Town. Darning needles, because is one off? Here it is. Darning needles, because everybody knows I'm always losing those, which is perfect because I'm very rubbish at remembering them. 2 little moustache paper clips. They're just the cutest things you've ever seen. The little moustache shaped paper clips. Now you're not going to be able to see that, are you? Hopefully you can see that. I probably should have put it behind a piece of paper. But 2 little moustache paper clips. And then this little peg with a heart on. Oopsie, which I'm now breaking. A little peg with a heart on, which came on an envelope of the button. Now where's the little... What do I do with that now? Hold on, okay, let me just put these things back in here. There's a porcelain heart thingy, which I know I had here somewhere because I got it ready. Yes. Oh, here we go. Purely porcelain, which is a little pin, and the little thingy was on top of the envelope. This is a purely porcelain heart, like a brooch kind of thing. It's got a pin through it, which is very nice. And apparently Gina's going to be selling these on her natural yarn shop. So that was very nice. And then the yarn I got in mine was Woodlands by Nurturing Fibre. And I've had the Woodlands colorway in the man sock before, which I knitted socks for Emma. But this is really nice because this is just the normal sock yarn. So I think that'll make quite a nice hat. I know who likes green and brown.
Me. And the brown
so attractive. Look, I don't even need to knit. As long as you balance your head very carefully. There you go. I made your hat.
I've not really made it.
And then she also included 2 balls of L Elite DK, which is 50% wool, 50% cotton, in a orange and a sort of a mustard color. This orange is much darker, so the colors are a bit washed out.
They are.
It's a much brighter sort of a, not quite a coral, slightly more of a peach. And then a sort of a mustardy colour there. But they're very nice together.
Mommy!
And then, sorry, I'll take you on off your head now.
No, not that.
What?
I just need to cast off.
Oh, you're casting off that colour. Well done. She sent me 2 mini skeins. She said she doesn't actually use or have mini skeins because she doesn't do a mini skein project. But she sent me 2 little bits of, 2 little balls of things that she had of little bits left, and I can't find the one. I unpacked the parcel and I know it's somewhere on the knitting couch, but I thought it was so cute. She doesn't really have mini skein stash as such, but she found 2 little balls, this one and a blue one, so that I could put those in my soft yarn blanket, which I really love because I love including little things from people, and then I can say, so and so sent me this or that, and it just kind of feels special to have all sorts of bits from. And then somebody especially went to the effort of finding me 2 little mini skeins, and now I can't find one. It is here, I promise. I just momentarily, because I wasn't planning to podcast now, didn't have it quite ready. So this is some lovely yarn for a hat, and some other yarn, and a great project bag. Oh, and a little memo. I love this memo. It says memo and notes, grand ideas and evil plans. Which I think really suits me. So this is my evil plans. And that was my whole project in a moustache bag. Oh, and chocolates. Now, if you watch Sally Wool Diaries podcast, even though she didn't podcast for a month and she got some of her parcels early, she didn't eat her chocolate. How is that humanly possible to keep chocolate for 3 weeks and not eat it? Okay, that woman has like some superhuman strength or something, because The chocolate I got was awesome. It was dark, 70% with orange, which is unusual because often as soon as they add flavors like the Lindt ones, not Lindt, is it Lindt?
Yeah.
As soon as they add the blueberry or the orange or whatever, the dark kind of comes down, and it only is then about 30 or 50% dark sometimes. It's not as high as the other ones. This is a Marks and Spencer, 70% dark with orange peel bits in it. Oh, I ate it that night. I mean, I got the parcel on Friday. Friday night, I ate that chocolate. The geek got some. I'm trying to think if I made it stretch over 2 nights. Usually with my dark chocolate, I try to make it stretch over 2 nights. But it had orange. It was really nice. There was no way I was waiting. I mean, this is only like 4 days later, and I didn't wait. I ate it. Sally kept her from her parcel that I sent her for July. I had sent her some those Lindt coconut chocolates in that, because the other ones that came out in December that looked like, it was in that light blue box. It looked like sort of fitted in with a frozen theme. And she'd got some others in her swap parcel as well. She didn't eat them. It's insane. Can you keep chocolate that long? No, me neither. If you send me chocolate, people, I will talk about it in the podcast later, but I will eat it. That is, I try to cut down my sugar as much as possible, and I mostly eat dark chocolate, but chocolate is a bit of my one downfall. I do like dark chocolate. Dark chocolate makes me eat less. I don't often eat. If you give me a slab of milk chocolate, I can finish the whole thing one night. Gone. I prefer nice quality, obviously. I'm not that fussy, really. And so I try to eat dark chocolate because it limits me to eating slightly less, and it's better for you, and I really like dark chocolate. I've grown to like dark chocolate. I didn't like it as much in the beginning. Now I really like it. And I find the other one a little bit sweet. So what an awesome parcel. Thank you, Angie, who's Angel Pie on Ravelry, for my amazing parcel. I mean, you can't not be cheered up by moustaches. It's just, yeah. So I was really delighted by that. So thank you very much. So that was our acquisitions. I have another acquisition, which is hats for the charity, which I will show next time because I think this is running a little bit long, and Rachel would like to talk about those. So I will save that for next time. So I have done the yarn I swapped with my mother. I've done my lovely swap parcel. We have done what we are working on.
And the chocolate!
We talked about chocolates! So if you ever want to send chocolates my way, like I'm not going to say no, but it's very doubtful that it will last until showing it to say thank you. I will try to take a photograph of the chocolate. That said, Rachel's parcel from, she hasn't shown that yet, which she'll have to show next time. Rachel got a parcel from, I'll tell you quickly, from Heidi Bears. Heidi Bears is a friend of mine that does the crochet toys, those amazingly beautiful crochet toys. So Heidi was so impressed that Rachel is so little, only 10, and doing knitting and spinning and all the rest. And she just wanted to encourage her as a young yarn crafter. So she sent her such an amazing
variety of chocolates.
And she had some great chocolates. So Rachel can show that next time. Needless to say, none of those. So she was generous-ish. She shared a little bits with her brother. With her brothers, and occasionally Emma and I got a tiny square. But when she shows that next week, you'll also see there is no chocolate or treats or fudge or anything that Heidi included left in the parcel. So Sally, I don't know how you do that. That is not actually humanly possible to keep chocolate for 3 weeks. That's just, I ate my swap partner's chocolate and had to replace it. I actually found really, really nice, because he bought some for us as well, chocolate biscuits from, were they Waitrose ones? Marks and Spencer's ones? So I found them at, please don't kick the table. I found them at a shop near us. They're imported ones, and they're like seriously chunks of chocolate in these biscuits. They were, I am gluten-free 90% of the time. I'm pretty good, and I have really low sugar. I don't have much sugar in anything, and I bought them for Emma while he was studying because he really likes chocolate biscuits, and he's having a tough time with studying at the moment. And he shared a couple with me. They are delicious. So I don't feel too bad about eating my swap partner's chocolate and having to put biscuits in instead because they were seriously like amazing biscuits. But yeah, I even ate my partner's chocolate because it was a few days before I posted the parcel and I had run out of chocolate. So yeah, it's a problem. Mommy has a chocolate problem.
Well, I couldn't save it for about probably 10 months or
Could
something.
you save chocolate for 10 months?
Yeah.
No way. You could
If you
not.
keep it out of my sight, I
Yes,
can't.
that's the problem. You have to like lock it away somewhere or something. Anyway, let's hope that when we buy the treats for Auntie Jenny for you to take back to England, well, I mean, although like lots of sugary sweet things, I should be okay. If there was chocolate, it would be different. Let me say goodbye because we need to go and fetch Titus from school. We've blathered on long enough.
Just
It was only supposed to be.
just a little bit more. I forgot. I'm nearly done.
Oh, you casting off the planet. I was going to actually record a short segment with Caleb to include in the podcast that Rachel and I record next week. We didn't record this week because she's got tick bite fever and she wasn't feeling that well. But we have seemed to record an entire long episode all on our own. We seem to have taken up that much time. Please tell us how you say squirrel.
Squirrel!
And say squirrel in your own language. And I will include those clips next time. So, or whenever we've got enough clips to include.
Mom, not yet!
No, you don't know. You'd cast off too slowly. Bye-bye.
Bye! Bye!